What is going on, guys? I'm out here today once again at Sweetwater Park, and y'all, there is not a single person here. Well, there's people down at the gym, but not playing disc golf. And I find that so hard to believe considering how beautiful of a day we have. Nobody's out here at the park either, but one of the most beautiful days we've had so far in 2026. I'm out here today because I've been wanting to test something in my own game, and maybe this is something that y'all mess around with too, but I'm the type of player that tends to disc up on a hole. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, I'm not really sure. So what I'm gonna be out here doing today is I'm gonna be testing the different theories of, is it better to disc up? Is it better to disc down? What situations is it necessary to do that? And for me, I also wanna try to achieve some more distance. So one of the things I'm gonna work on some of the longer holes is discing down, seeing if I can stretch out the distance a little more, maybe work on my form a little bit, and begin throwing a little bit farther, but also just seeing which one tends to work for me. And then again, maybe this is something that happens for you as well. So we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna warm up real quick and then we'll jump right in. All right, here we are, hole one. This one is 290 feet. Typically, if the wind is not too bad, I like to go mid-range here, but a lot of times there's a lot of wind, so I will go driver. So knowing that mid is kind of the play, I'm gonna throw a couple mid-ranges maybe, and then I'm gonna throw some drivers. Then I'll throw some putters. Not really looking to score this round. I'm just kind of looking to see where these things end up and hopefully work on my form a little bit. To start out, the wind, as I say, it's not as windy today. The wind picks up, but we're gonna go buzz here to start. Got my ESP buzz saw. And that one looks really good. Get down a little bit. Yeah, easily inside the circle. Let's go one more. Let's go with my Nats buzz, see if we can hyzer flip it. Feels like we got more of a tailwind. If that fades, that's really good. And it is. That is really good. Oh, that's parked. All right, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna disc down. Okay, we're gonna go zone SS. I'm gonna throw two of these. I've got my ESP one, and then I'm gonna go with my 6-time one. See if discing down, let's see if I can surprise myself here. See, when I disc down, look at that. Almost just as far as the buzz. Oh, that's just a horrible throw. All right, now let's disc up. The difference here is obviously I'm gonna go for more of a smooth shot than a power shot. I'm gonna go with my glow pipeline to start and just take some off of this. That is looking really good. Through that probably about, I don't know, 70% or so. Let's go one more driver. Let's go with the flash. And that is perfect. That one probably about, I don't know, 60%, but you can tell it gets there a lot easier. Woo! Now that wind's starting to pick up, but as you can tell, guys, got Zone SS buzz. Please don't blow over my camera now. Well, I think my tripod is officially broke, but got all three of these in the circle. I'm gonna putt the Zone SS just for fun here. Not keeping score once again. Oh, just snuck it over the rim. So as you can tell, on a hole like that, I mean, you can go with a few different options. Good way to know is if the wind is doing something, might be best to disc up. But if, of course, you got a tailwind or something, might be better to disc down. All right, here we are on hole 2, 712-foot par 4. Obviously, I go distance driver, so the only other option would be to go down. So I'm gonna throw some distance drivers and then disc down to some of my fairways and just see how they compare on a hole like this. All right, we're gonna go with my nuke. I've been loving this ESP one lately. This is just becoming a consistent driver. Got a tailwind though, I'm gonna have to get on this one. Nice and low, good amount of glide. Probably a good straight, I don't know, 400 feet or so, somewhere in there. Nothing too crazy. Let's go with the Paige Pierce one here. See if I can get a little more turn on it. Ooh, I got some turn on it. Oh, baby. That one is smashed, though. Wrong way, but not bad. That one was good. All right, since we do have a tailwind, I'm gonna go with two of them. I'm gonna go with a new ESP flash. This is not new, but it's new to me. Probably about a 9 out of 10. But starting out, we're gonna go with a Osprey just because we do have that tailwind. This is a 10 speed, a lot of glide. See if I can crush this one out there. Oh, got a good snap on it. Stay up. Good grief, that might be my new distance driver. Holy cow. It is just straight. Beautiful disc. That's probably about 350, 360. All right, so this is a good example of why we're doing this. So over here, I've got a Nuke, and then I've got my Osprey probably 2 feet behind it. Almost the same distance, but went a little bit slower in speed, got a different flight, more of a full flight, but I don't know how far out we are, probably about 330 or so, somewhere along that range. If I was throwing in a tournament here, I'd probably go driver out wide. So we're gonna go driver. We're gonna go with a flash first, and I'm gonna just throw more of a hyzer type of shot. And then after that, we're gonna go mid-range and disc down, see what we need to do as far as the adjustment. Let's throw the flash first though. That is perfect. Oh, it dropped. Oh, still inside the circle, but that got a drop to it. Now, this is a situation, like I was saying, I highly doubt I can get a mid there, but it's fun to try it and you never know what can happen. So I expect this to come up short, so we'll see what happens. Good snap on it, but look at it. It is pin high. I mean, again, I never would think to throw a mid-range here, but a favorable wind and, you know, just a nice controlled shot gets me all the way up there. All right, so as you can tell, guys, I got my buzz back here deep of the basket. That's probably a 340-foot shot. And then I've got my flash over here as well. So, I mean, again, I think in principle, at least, this is still what I would go with just because it's the more consistent shot. And just like that. All right, guys, here we are, hole 3, going back up the hill, 355. I'm gonna go with a Nuke once again, then we'll disc down back to the Osprey and the flash, but let's start here with a Z Nuke this time. Got a good rip on that one, good amount of turn, and you can tell it's got the stability to come back. Pretty good flight there. Oh, that is so clean. Oh yeah, it's just a nice smooth shot there. All right, for our disc down shot, we're gonna go back to the Osprey. This sucker is just amazing. If you have not tried these, I can't recommend them enough. They're amazing. Dang, that pop-up is so good. That is so good for a daggum 10 speed. Yeah, you can tell more stable, but still, nice clean shot, probably 360 or so. All right, so here we are, guys, approaching the line. Now, something to make note of as we're doing this particular experiment is I got about 50 to 60 feet farther with the distance driver on this hole, probably because of the headwind as well as the uphill. So that's just a note to make. Probably better to go faster when you're throwing into a headwind. Now, we're about 300 feet out. Typically, what I would do here is go with a driver, which is what I've got here with an Onyx, and I like to play something out wide and just let the speed kind of get me up there. We're gonna try it out first and then we'll go to the mid. Oh. Well, that got up there somehow, but you know, again, played more of the speed there. All right, now we're gonna go mid-range, got the driver up there. Let's go with the buzz. The wind has died down just a little bit. We'll see how this does. Please don't blow over my tripod. Oh, that's looking really good. My goodness, y'all. See, this is why we do this. You never know what you'll learn about your disc when you do stuff like this. All right, so the Onyx ended up, I don't know, probably edge of the circle, which was a bad throw. But y'all, this is where the buzz ended up. I actually went a little bit long, probably threw that about 310, I don't know, 320. So again, you just never know what your disc might do. All right, had to change out my tripod. I actually have another one. I don't know what kind of amateur YouTuber has 2 tripods, but I do for some reason. So here we are, hole, what is this, hole 4, 345. I typically go with the distance driver up high, try to spike it in. So we'll do that first, and then we'll go to our fairways. All right, we'll go with my most overstable venom, this pastry dye one. We're gonna try to get it up high and then let it just carry over there to the right, hopefully. Oh my goodness, that looks really good. Fade, 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 fade. Oh, it just kind of dropped. All right, for the fairway, I'm actually gonna try out this flash. I've really been liking this disc. New one, again, nice pearly run, nice and flat. Kind of flies like a farther Raptor, so let's give it a rip. Got some good turn. Holy cow, that smashed for a forehand. That might be too deep. All right, so the venom is up there, as you can tell. My flash, you can't see me right now, but I'm probably, I don't know, 15 feet long of this venom, a little bit more to the left. So here we are, probably about, I don't know, 70, 80 feet out. What I'd typically do here is go with my approach putter, which is my Jawbreaker Soft Zone SS. Just kind of get this up there close. Just something like that. Now let's do what a lot of the pros are doing now, which is kind of doing these long range putts with a mid range. We're gonna go glide here. Oh my gosh. Whoo! I actually went deep in the basket. All right, here we are, hole 5, 256. Now this is a great one to test this theory out on because it's only 250, which for me is a putter shot all day. But if you're a player that likes to control the disc a little bit more, stepping up to a mid-range could be a really good play. But I'm gonna go Zone SS. This is what I would typically go with. And then we're gonna go mid-range after that. Just like that. Oh my God. That's just butter right there. Butter right underneath it. 2 Zone SS's just right at it. Good grief. All right, well, let's still throw a mid just because we are doing a comparison here. Let's go glide. I'm gonna hyzer flip this one up the middle. Just try to take some off, get it to pop up and glide. Huh, see what I did there? And there it is. That is a little bit short, but not really the disc fault. All right, as I mentioned, got the glide up here. Not the best shot, but that was a little too flippy. Probably should have gone with a buzz. As you can tell, my Zone SS's are up there. This is only probably 20 feet or so. Bang. Now, on a hole like that, clearly the play is pick your straightest disc that's not gonna fade or turn over too much and go with it. But whether it's a putter or mid-range, pick the straightest flyer. That's the best rule of thumb. All right, here we are, hole 6, 315. I would go fairway driver here. Typically, I go with something like my Pipeline, something I can punch out there straight, get a little fade. So we might try a distance driver and mid-range here just to see the difference. Let's go Pipeline first. Just like that. Oh my goodness. That should be perfect. Yeah, should be good. All right, we're gonna go buzz. Now this is kind of a weird run up for me. So just keep that in mind. Not the best situation as far as a run up. Yeah, I just don't think I've got the power with that awkward run up. That's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be a little short though. And then just to say we did it, let's go nuke. Way too much disc, I think. Let's try it anyway. But toned off of it, fade. Oh. All right, so buzz got up here pretty good. I do think if I had a better run up, I do think I could get there with the mid-range pretty easily. But as you can tell, Pipeline is parked. Now, through the Pipeline probably 70-ish%, whereas I had to throw this probably more 80, 90%. And so just, again, as you're thinking about whether to disc up or to disc down, just kind of keep those things in mind. Gives you a little more perspective on the shot. Oh my God, that was just a horrible putt. Left, right. God, terrible. All right, guys, on to hole 7, 153 feet. This is typically something like a mid-range or even a putter. We'll throw a few different ones at it and I'll show you the difference. All right, typically I'd go with something like a Zone OS here. So we'll go with that first, and then we'll try to disc up a little bit, see how it compares. Let's go Zone OS first. Oh, that needs to fade. Yeah, not horrible. All right, now we're gonna disc up. We're gonna go mid-range first. Let's go Buzz OS, and then we're gonna go Z-Flex Machete. Oh man, if that pushes, that could be really good. Ooh, we're gonna see. All right, let's go Machete. Come on, come on. All right, let's go see. All right, here we are, guys. Hole 8, 211 feet, big hyzer line. I typically go with something like a zone, something in that 3 to 4 speed. Just have something overstable. We're gonna go backhand, and then we'll try something a little faster. That looks pretty good if it doesn't push too far. Oh, that is so good. And then we gotta go for the disc we're disking up to, gonna go Quake. A little bit faster, still pretty overstable. See if I can just kind of control this through the woods. No, not good. All right, Jumpman one here is parked. Man, that is always a fun one to get. Mid-range would definitely be too quick there, even if there was some wind or something like that. Unless you don't have something that overstable in a putter, you know, that's a situation for me. It's going to be putter all day, so not much of a question there. All right, here we are, hole 9, 287. This is actually a hole where I do disc up, so I'm going to go with my Special Blend Osprey, a little bit flippier. So I like to start this out on hyzer, get it to pop up, and just kind of drift over to the right. So I'm going to go with this one. Then we'll experiment with faster and slower. Let's go Osprey first. Missed that tree. No! That was looking so good if I'd have missed that. Just for the sake of saying we disc up on a 287 foot hole, let's go crank. And then watch. Oh my goodness. Whew. And then let's try the glide out for the mid-range shot. That one's the best one. That's putting. That is putting. Well, I'd be daggum if I didn't just get this mid-range up here when I have said I'm always going to disc up on this hole. And then here I am throwing a mid-range and getting it up here to 20 feet. So something to consider. I got to revisit this one. And I can officially say I've birdied it with a mid. I don't think I've ever done that before. So consistency wise, I still think I'm going to disc up, but it is good to know that I can get a mid there on that low of ceiling. All right, here we are, hole 10, 326. Most of the time I go with a mid-range. I like going to the buzz a lot. Now, if the wind does pick up, sometimes I'll switch up to a driver, but most of the time I'm going buzz. So let's start with that, and then we'll go putter and a driver. Oh, that's looking so good. Fade, 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 fade. Man, that wind just toyed with that. Now let's go Zone SS. I don't think I can get a Zone SS there, but again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but that's why we're trying this, is just to see what these things will do. Might surprise ourselves here. Dude, that is, I mean, it's not down there, but that's a good clean shot. All right, and for our driver, let's go with our flippier pipeline. This would be a disc that I would use on this because I can kind of throw it about 60, 70%. Still get it to pop up and go straight. Oh, it's drifting. God, that is so far. Oh my God, that is way too far. Another reason why I go mid there. Well, guys, a little disappointed in myself there. I got the buzz up here, but it's a little bit short. We had more of a headwind than I could feel back there, which is why that pipeline flipped so much. So got the buzz here. Again, probably would have gone with the more stable one in that kind of wind, but nonetheless, still probably edge of the circle here. Come on. Oh, just low on them. Got to get those putts up. All right, here we are, hole 11, 230 feet. This is a good example of what we're talking about. This is one where distance-wise, you know, putter, mid-range, but because of the play way over to the left, you'd like to go something a little faster to get more of a ground play. So I'm gonna go Raptor here. Just like that, skip. Yep, just like that. You can tell the skip over there a little bit better. And then I'll show you the difference. Let's go Quake here. Got a skip. That was actually pretty good, a lot better than I thought. All right, and then we'll go zone. Yeah, not near the skip, kind of just hit and stuck in the ground there. I feel like I've been proven wrong a lot in this video today because my zone is right here, but my Quake is actually parked and my Raptor is up here about where I land most of the time, which is about 15, 20 feet when I hit it clean. And there we go. But Quake is still an overstable mid, and I got a good skip on this harder dirt. All right, here we are, hole 12, 156 feet. This is not gonna be a hole that I do a lot of demonstration on just because I'm terrible at this hole, but we're gonna just throw a few at it, see which one ends up the closest. That is probably the best shot of my entire time playing this hole. Buzz OS, and then we'll go cap wrap. Oh my God, those are the two best shots I've ever had, and it's still probably way short. Three best shots I've ever had. I mean, let's go see how close. They're probably still not close. I know it's crazy to say, but these are the three best drives I've ever had. Buzz OS, a little bit short, cap wrap right there. I finally got inside the circle on this one. I would say I'm probably just inside of 30 feet maybe. Oh, my goodness. I cannot get this putter going today. I'm all over it, but I don't know. Timing feels a little bit off somehow, so maybe it'll click back in here in just a little bit. All right, here we are, hole 13, 128 feet. This is another one. We're not gonna pay attention too much for the sake of this video. I'm gonna go zone here, just try to get one up here, then we'll try to ace run it. Or just ace run it the first time. Ooh! Come on. Boom! There we go. Finally got this hole. All right, there's another ace for us. All right, I aced it with, what was that, third or fourth shot? So here I am a little bit deep with my first zone, but still only about 20 to 25. See if we can get this putter dialed in a little bit. Got it, let's go. All right, finally had a putt that actually felt smooth. All right, here we are, hole 14, 165 feet. Again, probably one you would want to go putter on, but I will throw a mid on this one as well, but we're gonna go sled to start. See if I can get this one over, just get myself down there for that putt. That's looking really good. Might have been a really good tree, we'll find out. Here, I'll even go to a buzz just so you can see similar stability. This is pretty straight. Much faster. Yep, that works just fine though. So another good example. See, I threw the sled, and honestly, if I didn't hit the trees, I'd have gone long, but. All right, here we are, hole 15, 288 feet. Another good hole to show you the difference in speed here because it is probably about 100 feet to get to the corner. So you could easily do it with a putter. I like to go driver to play more of a skip, but we'll see which one plays better. All right, I'm gonna go machete first. Just try to do a little standstill skip over there to the right. Just like that. Yep, that's it. You see how much farther over, pretty much out of the woods now. But just for the sake of comparison, let's drop all the way down to a zone here. See, still really good shot. Not as far over, but still hit the corner and it's just fine. All right, got both shots in a pretty good spot. Zone's a little bit farther back. I'm gonna go zone SS here as a little throw. I'm gonna go with my ESP one this time. And then I'm gonna putt it with a glide just to show you the couple different plays here. Just like that. That is something I don't know why you would do it, but I will say this. That was a pretty easy shot. Just had to give it a little step throw. Actually didn't require much effort at all. All right, here we are, hole 16, 235. Another one to kind of show you the difference between what you would normally go with, like in my case, going with a putter versus something like a mid. I'm gonna go forehand and backhands here just to show you. I'm gonna go zone first, then we'll step up. Ooh, got a tailwind. See, kept that a little bit lower, but look, oh, sit. That is good. Now I'm gonna try the Quake, similar style of throw. Oh my. Oh, I made the Mando. Actually, that is missing the Mando. Terrible. So I didn't really show you much on the other ones, but at least I showed you how a zone can fly for you on this hole. I got a little help from this tree. And, you know, I think in that particular case, throwing something a little faster doesn't really help me all that much. But again, something to consider if that's something that's helpful for you. All right, hole 17, 466. This is another good one to be able to test it out. I'm going to go Venom first on a forehand, and then I'm going to disc down to a Raptor, and then we might throw some backhands. All right, let's start. Let's go overstable. My most overstable, I should say. All Venoms are pretty stable. Let's go most overstable. Just kind of cruise it up there. Just like that. Get down. Oh man. It did hit a tree, but that is still pretty good. All right, now let's go fairways. I'm gonna try out the Raptor, see what it does, and if it's not good, I'll go flash. Oh my, that is money. In fact, that might need to be my new play here. Let's go flash just to see what it does. Oh, that was looking so good. All right, because you know I'm a sucker for trying out this Osprey any chance I get. Let's go backhand with a crank first. Ooh, about hit that tree. Turn. That might be the luckiest throw ever. All right, let's go Osprey. Flip. Oh, also pretty lucky. Got my Venom up here. This is actually one of the best shots I've ever had. The Raptor is not far behind it, and actually probably in a better position because I'm a little pinched off here. I'm gonna go zone first, and then we'll go machete, see which one gets closer. Oh my God, that's so far right. All right, let's go machete now. That's just lazy. Oh, and it still about went in. All right, got my zone. I had to find it. Probably about 20 feet here. If you can't tell, my machete almost spiked in. That was a pretty awful shot, but somehow still worked out. There we go. A little bit left side, but that's still gonna work. All right, here we are, last hole, hole 18, 336. Now, typically, I like to go distance driver here just to play more of the distance driver fade. But distance-wise, it's typically where I would go with something like a fairway. So we'll go distance driver first, and then we'll try out a couple fairways and see how we compare to that. See if we can finish strong here. We're gonna go nuke. Oh, that is about as tight as you can get that. As long as that didn't hit anything, that should be pretty good. All right, let's go with a flash, something that's gonna get some glide, but also some good stability. See, it just holds a little too straight for what I'm looking for, but not a bad shot. All right, what I feared happened. Nuke hit one of these trees, definitely outside the circle. See if we can give this a little run here. This wind is always tricky on this putt. Come on. Oh, just beyond it there. We're gonna tap in this par, finish off a pretty good round. There it is. Well, guys, this was a lot of fun today. Good round out here. Beautiful day, as I mentioned, but a lot of different things you learn when you do rounds like this, where you throw discs that you might not typically throw, or something maybe you just haven't even thought of throwing before. So I would encourage you, if you're wanting to learn your disc a little bit better, you know, if you want to learn some power, maybe disc down a little bit, but if you want to learn a little more control, disc up, you know. And so before this video ends, I'm going to sign off here in a minute, but at the end of it, I'll give you some tips. This is not the end all be all, but I'm going to give you some tips of when to disc up, when to disc down. So just stay tuned for that. I'll have a list of different things. But guys, as always, thank y'all for watching. If you live in the Augusta area, we are putting 9 new holes up at First Baptist Augusta. I should say 9 new baskets. So look for a video about that. Come out and check it out. But guys, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.